I never thought the day would come when my own daughter, Sarah Myers, would look me in the eyes and tell me I was useless during a family dinner. It happened on a quiet evening in our cozy suburban home. I had prepared her favorite meal, hoping to enjoy a simple moment
I
together.
can't believe
But she
this. It's
stood
not
there,
true.
fork in hand,
I'm sorry, Mom.
her eyes
We
sharp
knew this would
and full of
happen.
frustration. Then she said it words that cut deeper than anything I could have imagined. Mom, you're useless. I froze, my heart pounding, unable to respond. Sarah didn't wait for an answer. She pushed her chair back, stormed out, and left me standing in the kitchen feeling invisible and betrayed. For a moment, I wondered if all the years of love, care, and sacrifices had amounted to nothing in her eyes. But deep down, I knew something had to change, though I wasn't ready to reveal my plan yet. If you were in my place, what would you have done? Please like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Tell me where you're watching from and what time it is in your country. I read every comment, and your support truly means the world to me. Mom, have you seen the living room? I just got back from shopping. Why? We rearranged a few things, came the calm reply. Just to make it feel more modern. The coffee table, the curtains, everything, it looks better this way. I stood frozen, staring at the sleek glass table that replaced the old wooden one. The one she had done her homework on as a child. Better? I asked softly. Do you even know what this table meant to us? It's just a table, came the light shrug. We thought it would brighten the room. I swallowed the tight lump in my throat. This is my living room. My home. Yes, for now, was the cool, practiced reply. For now. Those words lingered like ice down my spine. I looked over at the other scrolling on a phone, barely glancing at me. Did you know about this? I asked quietly. It's just a renovation, came the faint voice. It'll make the house better. Better. Not ours. Just the house. I nodded, though it felt like swallowing glass. I walked away before anything else could be said. That became my pattern, silent observation, gentle nods, pretending it was all normal. Then the little things began. My photo frames my belongings, my favorite armchair, they were moved, replaced, or tucked away. More practical, they said. Just for efficiency, they insisted. Even my presence seemed unwelcome in the spaces I had filled with love for decades. One afternoon, I overheard them in the hallway. She needs to understand boundaries, came the low, confident voice. This is our space now. We need privacy. A pause, then a hesitant agreement. Maybe she should start thinking about her own place. I froze behind the door. My own place. As if it hadn't always been mine. As if my life's work, my memories, my sacrifices were now just temporary. I took a step back quietly, heart hammering, afraid that even breathing might give me away. That night, I barely slept. Memories flooded my mind, every bill I had paid, every repair I had handled alone, every sleepless night, ensuring this house was more than walls and furniture. This was my life's foundation, yet somehow I had become the intruder in it. The following week, a serious conversation was arranged. They sat across from me, voices calm, almost professional. We've been thinking about the living arrangement, one began. It would be healthier if you transitioned into a smaller, manageable space nearby. We've even found a few options for you. Pages were slid across the table. Apartments. For me. I looked up, hoping the other would speak to defend me, to say something. But there was only silence. Then the quiet voice. It might be easier for everyone, Mom. Easier. For everyone. Except me. Something inside me shifted, cold, sharp clarity. I realized then I wasn't part of their decisions. I was the problem they were solving. We want to start our life together properly, the other added. Without tension. Tension. That's what I had become in my own home. I folded my hands, keeping them from trembling. And I surprised even myself, I understand, I said softly. A faint smile of relief appeared. Another looked distant. Neither of them saw what I saw. Because while they were focused on removing me, I was finally seeing everything clearly. Later that night, after the house was quiet, I walked slowly through the rooms. Each step felt different, echoing unfamiliarly. Not because the house had changed, but because my place within it had been questioned so many times that even the walls felt like strangers. I paused in front of the cabinet where I kept important documents. My hands hovered a second, then opened it. There it was. The deed, the original property papers, and one detail that had quietly remained unchanged through all these years. Owner Andrea Myers, not them. Me. I sat down on the floor holding the paper. No anger, no revenge, just clarity. Because now I understood something important. They weren't trying to update the house. They were trying to erase me from it. And the cruelest part, they had no idea it was impossible. Not without my permission. Not without the truth I had kept hidden all these years. I folded the document carefully, placed it back, and whispered, "Not yet, because truth-like power doesn't explode in anger. It waits." And I knew their reckoning was coming closer than they could ever imagine. "Mom, dinner's ready," came the voice from the kitchen. "I'll be there in a minute," I replied, trying to steady my shaking hands. The aroma of roasted chicken filled the air, a smell that should have brought comfort, but tonight it felt like a test. "Sit," the voice said, firm and commanding. "We need to talk before we eat." I hesitated, then lowered myself into the chair, heart pounding. The table was set neatly, silverware-aligned plates, spotless, but the atmosphere was anything but normal. "Mom?" The voice started calm, but sharp. "I think it's time you considered moving out, just for the sake of structure." I blinked. "Moving out, structure. Sarah? Not now." Mom came, the quiet, clipped reply. "Let's just focus on the discussion." I felt a lump rise in my throat. Discussion. In my own dining room. "Yes," came the response. "It's necessary. For all of us." I looked down at the table. Every item seemed alien. The wooden plates I had used for years were replaced with white ceramic ones. Even the napkins had changed. This is my table," I said softly. I prepared this meal. It's not about the meal," came the voice I used to trust. "It's about the living arrangement. About space. Space." The word struck me like a cold wind. "You mean my space? My home?" "Yes," was the quiet answer. "We need room to build our marriage, Mom. It'll be easier for everyone." I tried to speak, but the words caught in my throat. Easier. For everyone except me. "That's not what I meant," came the hurried reply. "I just want things to be smooth." I shook my head. "Smooth, you call, asking me to leave my home." Smooth silence. "You've changed," I said, finally, the words coming out slower than I intended. "You weren't always like this, Sarah. You used to look at me differently." "I do look at you differently," came the calm, almost rehearsed voice. "But that's life. Things change." "Change, is that what you call it?" I pressed. "Replacing my furniture, moving my things, rearranging my house, and now asking me to leave Mom, it's just..." The voice faltered. "I just want structure. We need structure." Structure. That word again. I clenched my fists beneath the table. "And what about love, respect? All those years I gave everything for you, I know, Mom," the quiet voice said. "But some things, they have to happen." I swallowed hard, trying to hold back tears. Have to happen. So erasing me from my own home, that has to happen. A pause. Then softly, we didn't mean it that way. You didn't mean it that way, I repeated. But that's exactly how it feels. Like I'm invisible. Like I don't belong here anymore. I didn't know you'd feel that way, came the hesitant reply. I just thought. You thought what I asked, voice trembling, that I wouldn't notice. That I'd quietly step aside. I didn't think, came the low voice. I didn't think at all. I shook my head. Didn't think. You grew up with me. You knew what this home meant. You knew what I sacrificed for you. And now, my voice broke. And now you treat it like it's yours. Like I was only temporary. I didn't mean it like that, the voice repeated. I just enough to push me aside. Maybe I didn't understand, came the quiet, unsure reply. You didn't understand? I echoed, voice firmer now. You never understood, and maybe now it's too late. A silence fell over the table, heavy and suffocating. The food sat untouched, the plates glaringly new, a silent accusation of the life I had built and the person I had been. Finally, the voice spoke, cautious, almost guilty. Mom, I just want to be fair. I want everyone to be happy. Happy, I laughed softly, bitterly. You call pushing me out of my home? Happy, I think it's best this way, came the soft reply. Best for who, I asked, gripping the edge of the table. Best for you, for him, or for me? It's not about taking your home, came the almost whispered voice. It's about moving forward. Moving forward without me, forward by erasing me. The quietness stretched the tension pressing down so heavily I could feel it in my chest. I remembered every moment I had spent here alone, fixing broken cabinets, paying bills late at night, waiting up for her when she came home from school, every small victory, every sacrifice. And now, this. I don't understand, came the timid voice. I thought you'd see it differently. See it differently, I snapped. I see it perfectly. I see what you're doing. I see how little you consider me, how little you remember, how easily you forget the years it took to make this a home. And yet here I am, expected to leave, expected to vanish quietly. The soft intake of breath on the other side was the only answer. I'm sorry, came finally. I didn't realize how much this would hurt you. Sorry, I whispered. Sorry doesn't bring back my home. Sorry doesn't replace the respect I deserve. Sorry doesn't undo the way I'm being erased from my own life. I didn't mean for it to feel like that, came the hesitant reply again. I don't care what you meant, I said, voice steady despite the tears. What matters is what happened. And what happened is you treated me like I was disposable. Like everything I built, everything I protected doesn't belong to me anymore. I didn't know, came the soft voice. You didn't know, or you just didn't care. Silence. I rose from the table, the chair scraping softly against the floor. I need a moment, I said. I walked toward the hallway, hands trembling, feeling the weight of every memory pressing down. Every photograph, every repaired wall, every laughter echoing in the empty corners, this was mine. And yet I had been forced to sit there and hear them plan my removal from it. From the living room, the voice followed softly. Mom, please just listen. I paused, but did not turn. I've been listening for years, but this time, I think it's time you listen to me. A quiet gasp came from the other side, followed by heavy footsteps retreating to the couch. I continued down the hallway, stopping in front of the small cabinet where the most important documents were kept. My hands hovered over it, hesitation flickering for only a moment. Then I opened it, my fingers finding the deed. Andrea Myers. The name printed clearly. Mine. I held it tightly, feeling a cold clarity settle over me. I didn't feel anger yet. I didn't feel revenge. Just understanding. They weren't trying to update my house. They were trying to erase me from it. And the cruelest part, they had no idea it was impossible. Not without my permission. Not without the truth I had kept hidden all these years. I folded the document carefully and placed it back, whispering to myself, "Not yet." Because the reckoning would not come in anger. It would come in clarity, precision, and at the right time. I just don't know if I can keep doing this, came the quiet voice from the kitchen. Doing what I asked, voice low, trying to steady the tremor I could feel in my chest. This, pretending it's all fine, like everything's normal. You mean my home? I asked, taking a step closer. Because from where I'm standing, it hasn't felt normal in weeks. We're just making small changes, came the hesitant reply. It's for the future for us. For you, I corrected softly. Not for me. Not for the person who built this place. The person who raised you in it. I didn't think it would feel like that to you, came the quiet answer. You didn't think, I echoed, voice rising slightly. You didn't think about how it would feel to watch my things moved. My memories altered, my presence, treated like a guest in my own home. I thought it was just organization, the voice said, trembling now. Organization? I repeated, letting the word hang in the air. Organization isn't the same as erasure. You don't get to erase me from the life I built, from the home I've protected for years. I didn't mean it like that, the hesitant reply whispered. You didn't mean it, I said, pacing the kitchen, slowly, hands brushing against counters that I had chosen, placed, and cleaned countless times. You didn't mean it, but it still happened. And every time I see something new moved, replaced, rearranged, I feel invisible. Like I don't belong here anymore. I just want to help, came the quiet answer. Help! I turned sharply, letting the anger rise just a little. You call pushing me aside, treating me like a stranger in my own home, helping? No. The voice was louder now. I didn't mean, I don't know how to explain it. Then try, I said, resting my hands on the countertop. Explain to me why my home no longer matters to you. It's not that it doesn't matter, came the soft, almost ashamed reply. We think it's best for everyone. For our marriage. For the future. The future, I repeated, incredulous. And what about my past? What about the years I spent raising you, the nights I stayed up making sure this house was warm and safe, the sacrifices I made so you would never feel lacking? I know you sacrificed, came the hesitant voice. We didn't know how to. We thought what I pressed, voice tighter now. That I would silently step aside, that I'd accept being pushed out of my own home. I didn't think, the reply admitted softly. I didn't think you would feel this way. I feel it more than words can say, I said. Every corner of this house carries memories. Every wall, every photograph, every scratch and stain, it's all mine. And you've begun treating it like it isn't. I'm sorry, came the whisper. Sorry, I repeated, letting the word hang. Sorry doesn't rebuild my home. Sorry doesn't replace the warmth that's been taken from me. Sorry doesn't bring back the feeling that I matter here. I didn't know, the voice murmured. You didn't know, I asked, stepping closer. Or you just didn't care, silence. I just thought I was helping. The reply finally came quieter, softer. I didn't see it from your side. And now you do, I said, voice steadier. Now you see what it feels like to be invisible in your own life. I just wanted a home with Sarah, the voice admitted. You already have it, I said, voice low. But not at the expense of erasing me from mine. Not at the expense of everything I built, protected, and lived for. A long silence filled the room. I could hear the ticking of the clock, the faint hum of the refrigerator, the subtle shift of the air between us. I didn't realize, came the hesitant voice again. I didn't realize it felt this way. Didn't realize, I echoed. It's a phrase I've heard too many times in the last few weeks. You didn't realize. You didn't realize. You didn't realize. And now my patience has worn thin. I just want to make it better, came the quiet admission. Better, I said, voice low and dangerous. By turning me into a guest, by moving me out of my own house. Is that your idea of better? No, the voice shouted this time. I didn't mean, you didn't mean, I snapped. You didn't mean, but it's happening. Do you hear yourself? Every single day something changes, something I've cherished disappears, and all I get is your, I didn't mean. I didn't know, came the weak response. You didn't know, I repeated. And maybe that's the problem. You've never had to understand the weight of a home of sacrifice of love given silently for years. Until now. A pause. I don't want to fight, the quiet voice admitted. You already are, I said softly. Every word, every action, every suggestion that pushes me aside is a fight. I'm fighting to be seen, to be remembered, to be honored, and I won't stop. I didn't think it would hurt this much, came the faint whisper. You didn't think, I said firmly? That's why we're here. That's why we have to talk like this. Because you've forgotten that a home isn't just walls and furniture. It's memory. It's blood and sweat and heart. It's every night I stayed awake to make sure you had a safe place to grow. And now, I gestured to the kitchen, the dining area, the living room. Now you're trying to rewrite it all as if I don't matter. I thought it was okay, the voice whispered, almost breaking. Thought it was okay, I echoed, stepping closer. Do you even hear yourself? My home. My life. My sacrifice. And you thought it was okay to disregard it? I didn't know, came the quietest reply yet. You didn't know, I said again, softer now, but still filled with conviction. Then listen. Hear me. This house, this life, it's mine, every piece of it, and I will not be erased from it. Not now, not ever. I'm sorry, the voice admitted, once more trembling. I know you are, I said, voice steady, but that's not enough. It will never be enough. You have to understand. You have to remember. Because this home, my life, isn't up for negotiation, and neither am I. A heavy silence followed. The air felt thicker, charged with tension and understanding at the same time. I understand, came finally, softly, humbly. Good, I said, exhaling slowly. Because understanding is the first step. And now, maybe we can begin to repair what's been broken, but it starts with respect and with listening. I'll try, the quiet voice whispered. That's all I ask, I said, voice softening, though my eyes burned with the weight of all that had happened. Try. And don't forget who built this home, who protected it, and who loves it with every piece of herself. That's the foundation we need to rebuild from. A pause. Then softly, the voice replied, I won't forget. I nodded, feeling the first small shift in the air. It was fragile, tentative, but it was there. A thread of acknowledgement. And as I walked through the kitchen, touching the counters, the walls, the spaces I had lived in for decades, I whispered to myself, "This is mine, and I will never let it go." "Mom, you really think we should look at the house today?" came the hesitant voice from the doorway. "I think it's important," I replied, keeping my tone calm. "I need to understand what's happening before decisions are made. It's just, I don't want to upset anyone," the voice said softly. "You don't want to upset anyone?" I repeated, eyebrow raised. "Do you know how much it upsets me to walk into my own home and feel like I don't belong? I didn't mean to make you feel that way," came the quiet reply. "I know," I said, stepping forward. "But it happened anyway. And now we have to deal with it. All of it. The changes, the planning, everything. We just thought—" The voice hesitated that maybe if we made some adjustments, everything would be better. "Better for whom?" I asked sharply. "Better for you? Better for him? Or better for me?" "Everyone," the reply came quietly. "Everyone," I repeated, letting the word echo. "And where does that leave me? The person who built this home, who raised you, who worked every day to make sure this house was safe and warm. I guess I didn't think about that," the voice admitted, eyes downcast. "You didn't think," I said, softly, pacing a few steps. "Do you know how that feels to have someone who helped you grow, who protected you, dismissed as irrelevant in the place that holds our memories?" I just wanted to make things easier," the voice whispered. "Easier," I laughed bitterly. "You call erasing me, moving my things, replacing the furniture, and planning my exit easier. I didn't think," the voice repeated, almost a mantra now. "You didn't think," I said, voice rising slightly. "And now it's too late to pretend nothing's happening. Do you understand that—" Pause. Then softly, I think I understand." "Think you understand?" I asked, stepping closer. "Do you? Or are you just saying what you think I want to hear?" I'm sorry," the voice admitted, shaking slightly. "Sorry," I echoed. "Sorry doesn't restore the furniture, the photos, the feeling of belonging. Sorry doesn't undo the months of feeling like an intruder in my own home." I didn't know," the voice said, almost pleading now. "You didn't know," I said firmly. "And maybe that's the problem. You've never had to feel the weight of a home, the weight of a life built with your own hands, defended against every obstacle, every hardship. And now you're learning whether you like it or not." I didn't mean to hurt you," the voice said softly. "Hurt me," I repeated. "You've done more than hurt me. You've tried to erase me from the only place I've ever truly belonged. And yet, here I am standing, talking to you, giving you a chance to understand before it's too late." A heavy silence settled between us, only broken by the faint hum of the refrigerator. I want to understand," the voice finally admitted, voice barely above a whisper. "You want to understand?" I asked, looking directly at them. "Then listen. Listen carefully, because I will not repeat myself. Every brick in this house, every wall, every repaired floorboard, every meal cooked in this kitchen, everything has my love, my sweat, my late nights. And you have no right to pretend otherwise. You have no right to treat it as if it's yours, without acknowledging the life that built it." I didn't realize," the quiet reply admitted. "You didn't realize," I said slowly, letting the words sink in. "And that's why we're here, to face reality, and for you to see the consequences of ignoring it. I just want things to be peaceful," the voice said. "Peaceful?" I asked sharply. "Do you know how peaceful it feels to have your home threatened by the people you love most? Do you know what it feels like to watch your life, your memories, Your sanctuary slowly being taken over without your consent. I didn't think, came the quiet reply, trembling now. You didn't think, I said again, softer this time, but with unshakable clarity. And maybe that's the only excuse you have. But it won't change anything. Not until you truly see it. Not until you truly understand what it feels like to have your place in your own life questioned every single day. I want to understand, the voice whispered. Yes, I said firmly. You will, but understanding isn't enough. Respect follows understanding, and without respect, nothing here will ever be right again. A long pause. Then the quiet voice said, I will respect you, I promise. Good, I replied, exhaling slowly. Because this house, this home, it isn't just walls and furniture. It's a life. It's every memory, every sacrifice, every moment I gave to you. And you will not erase it. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I won't forget, the voice said softly, almost reverently. I hope you never do, I said, walking through the kitchen, touching the counters, the walls, the chairs I had lived with for decades. Because this is my home, and I will never let it go. I understand, the voice said again, trembling. Yes, I said, voice steady. Understanding is the first step. The second is remembering, and the third is acting with care and respect. Do not forget any of it. I won't, the quiet reply came. I nodded, feeling the faintest shift in the air, a thread of acknowledgement that had not been there before. Fragile, tentative, but it existed. And as I moved through the rooms, I whispered to myself, this is mine, and I will protect it. Every inch, every memory, every wall. And no one, not now, not ever, will take that from me without knowing the truth. Mom! You're still working late, came the voice from the doorway, hesitant, almost guilty. Yes, I replied, not looking up from the papers in front of me. There's much to do. Do you really need to handle all of it yourself? The voice asked softly. I do, I said firmly, tapping a pen against the desk. Some things must be done carefully. Others can't be trusted to someone else. You mean Michael and I? The quiet question came. Yes, I said finally, looking up, eyes steady. Some matters require precision, discretion, understanding that not everyone sees the full picture. I don't understand, the voice admitted. Why can't we be part of it? We're your family. You think you are, I said slowly. But family doesn't always see the consequences of their actions. Sometimes they act too quickly, too carelessly, and then everything is at risk. Risk? The voice asked, brows furrowed. Yes, I said, leaning back in my chair. The house, our memories, everything carefully built. It's fragile. Too fragile to be treated casually. We didn't mean any harm, the quiet reply came. Intentions aren't enough, I said, voice low but firm. They don't protect what's been entrusted to you. Actions do. A pause. The footsteps of someone pacing echoed softly across the floor. We want to help, the voice continued. We want to be involved. We thought we were doing the right thing. Doing the right thing, I repeated, by rearranging my life, by moving things without asking, by deciding I should step aside. We didn't see it that way, the hesitant reply admitted. You didn't see it? I asked, leaning forward, hands clasped tightly. Do you know how it feels to watch your home slowly transformed into someone else's domain? To feel every corner slipping from your grasp? I didn't think it would feel like that, the voice said quietly. You didn't think I said letting the phrase hang in the air? Again. That seems to be the only phrase I hear these days. But thinking alone doesn't repair what's broken. It doesn't return what's lost. It doesn't restore respect. I will try, came the quiet response. Try, I asked sharply. Try is not enough. It never has been. We just wanted to make things easier, the voice admitted. For you, I said softly, but firmly. Not for me. Not for the one who built this life, who safeguarded these walls, who loved endlessly. That's what makes it harder. Easier for you, impossible for me. I understand, the voice whispered. Do you? I pressed, leaning closer. Or are you simply repeating words because you think they're what I want to hear? No! The voice snapped, then immediately softened. I really do want to understand. To do what's right. Good, I said, exhaling slowly. Because right now, what matters is not what you think is right. It's what preserves what's mine, what's real, what's been carefully nurtured over decades. I didn't realize how much it meant, the voice admitted. Not realizing is not protection, I said quietly. Not realizing is part of the problem. And now we must take control before any further mistakes are made. I don't know how, came the hesitant reply. You will learn, I said, voice firm. But first you must let me handle what only I can handle. You have no right to interfere. Not yet. Not until you truly see the weight of it all. Mom, are you talking about the house? The quiet voice asked, a tinge of fear creeping in. Yes, I said simply. Everything in it. Every document, every agreement, every detail. It all matters, and some of it must be handled without distraction, without influence, without naive intentions. I just thought, no, I interrupted softly. You didn't know. That's the point. You didn't know, and that's why I must act carefully and silently. A long pause followed the quiet steps shuffling across the room. I'm sorry, the voice whispered. I never meant to push you aside. I know I said nodding once, but intention isn't enough. It's what is done that counts. And right now, the only way to protect everything is to act decisively, quietly, without interference. Act decisively, how the voice asked, hesitant. By handling matters the way they should be handled, I said firmly, carefully, completely, without exposing everything yet. Not until the right moment. I don't understand fully, the voice admitted. You will, I said softly. You must trust that some things cannot be rushed. Some things cannot be shared. Some things must be done by the one who has the full picture, the one who knows the weight of this home, of this life. I trust you, the voice said quietly, almost trembling. Good, I said, feeling a small measure of satisfaction. Then step back. Observe. Wait. And remember this house, these walls, these memories, they belong to me. Not to you. Not yet. I will, the voice replied, voice barely above a whisper. Not yet, I said again, more firmly this time. Not until the time comes for the truth to be revealed. And when it does, everything will be in its proper place, including respect, including understanding, including acknowledgement of what I have built and protected. I understand, the voice said softly. Yes, I said, standing tall, and that understanding is only the beginning. The rest will follow when it is meant to. Until then, do not interfere, do not question, do not forget who holds the keys to this home. A silence settled over the room, tense and heavy, but tinged with a fragile acknowledgement. I won't, came the whispered reply. Good, I said, voice calm but unwavering. Because this house is mine, and I will protect it. Every corner, every memory, every document, every step will be mine to decide. And no one will take it from me without knowing the full truth. I understand, the voice said again. Yes, I replied, feeling the first faint shift in the air. The thread of acknowledgement was tentative, but present enough to know that the next steps could be taken. And as I returned to my desk, carefully reviewing the papers, making notes, and planning every detail, I whispered to myself, "This is my life, my home, my rules, and the time for their reckoning is coming closer than they realize." "Mom, have you noticed anything different?" the voice asked cautiously from the doorway. "I noticed," I said, turning slowly. "But perhaps you mean different in your favor." "No, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like things aren't quite the same," the voice admitted softly, eyes downcast. "Not quite the same?" I asked, arching an eyebrow. "Care to explain?" "Well, it's hard to describe," the voice whispered. "Sometimes it feels like you're not really part of the house anymore." I paused, letting the words hang in the air. "Not part of the house, it's my home, my life, my memories. And yet you say it feels like I don't belong." I don't mean it like that," the voice said quickly, voice cracking. I feel things are changing. Changing," I repeated softly, letting the word resonate. "Yes, they are, and not always in a way I can accept. I just want things to be peaceful," the voice whispered. "Peaceful?" I asked sharply. "Do you know what peace feels like when the people you raised are slowly pulling you out of your home? When every corner feels foreign, every familiar thing altered?" I didn't realize," came the hesitant reply. "Didn't realize," I echoed. Again. "And that's exactly the problem. I just thought—" "You thought," I said firmly. "And thinking isn't enough. Thinking cannot replace the care, the love, the sweat and effort that built this house, this life. And yet you treat it casually as if it has no history, no meaning." I didn't mean to," the voice admitted, shaking slightly. "No," I said, stepping closer, voice low but strong. "It wasn't meant to be done with malice. But it is still happening, and that is enough." I feel like I'm losing you," the voice whispered. "You are?" I said softly. "Not losing me because I am leaving. Losing me because you've forgotten what it means to honor the home that raised you, the life that protected you, the woman who sacrificed everything for you." I didn't forget," the voice said. "No?" I pressed. "Then why does it feel like every step you take erases a part of me? Every small adjustment you make removes me further from what I built." I didn't see it that way," the voice admitted. "Not seeing it that way is exactly why I have to act," I said calmly, carefully, quietly, so that when the time comes, the truth can be restored and respect will be recognized. I don't know how to fix this," the voice whispered. "Then listen," I said firmly. "Do nothing that could worsen it. Observe, understand, and remember every move, every decision has consequences. And the house, my home, belongs to me until I decide otherwise." I understand," came the soft reply. "Yes," I said, nodding slowly. "Understanding is the first step. Next is respect, then caution. You have no right to interfere until all three are in place." I'll try," the voice admitted. "Try is not enough," I said quietly but firmly. "But it is a start. It's all I ask for now." A silence filled the room, heavy and charged with tension. "Mom, can we talk about the small changes?" the voice asked hesitantly. "Yes," I said, taking a seat. "Let's talk. But only to clarify what can remain and what cannot be touched again. This is not a negotiation of ownership. It is a reminder of boundaries. I didn't think boundaries mattered so much," the voice said softly. "Boundaries," I repeated. "They matter more than you realize. They define what is mine, what is yours, and what cannot be crossed. And lately, everything has been crossed. I see that now, the voice whispered. Good, I said, voice steady. See it, and never forget it again. Because respect is not optional in a home built with love and sacrifice. I understand, came the quiet reply voice, trembling. Yes, I said, rising slowly. Understanding is the beginning. Now everything else will follow in due time. But for now, step carefully, observe, and do not interfere. Not until you are ready to truly acknowledge the life, the memories, and the authority that built this house. I won't, the voice said softly. Good, I said, walking through the living room, fingers brushing over familiar surfaces. Because every corner, every wall, every memory belongs to me, and it will remain that way until the time is right for the truth to be revealed. I understand, the voice repeated, voice barely audible. Yes, I said, looking around at the home I had protected for decades. And remember, the next step must be taken carefully. One wrong move, one thoughtless act, and everything you think you understand could crumble. This house, this life is mine, and I will not let it be erased. A faint breath came from the doorway. I understand, Mom. I really do. Good, I said firmly. Now step back, observe and learn. The rest will unfold when the time is right. A long silence followed. The quiet acknowledgement hung in the air, fragile but real. I walked slowly from the living room to the hallway, touching the walls I had painted, the furniture I had chosen, the floors I had polished countless times. This is mine, I whispered. And nothing, not misunderstanding, not carelessness, not impatience, will take it from me without knowing the full truth. The voice from the doorway murmured, I won't forget, Mom. Good, I said softly, feeling the first hint of shift in the air. Fragile, tentative, but it existed, enough to know that the next steps could be taken carefully, methodically, and with full control. And as I moved toward my desk, quietly preparing, planning, and reviewing every detail, I whispered to myself, this is my home, my life, my rules, and the time for their reckoning is coming closer than they realize. Mom, you've been quiet all morning, the voice called softly from the doorway. I've been thinking, I replied, not turning from the papers spread across the kitchen counter. About everything, about what's happened, about what's coming next. You sound serious? The voice said, hesitant. Is something wrong? Wrong, I repeated, voice calm, but edged with tension. Nothing is wrong except the fact that my home, my life, my memories are being treated like they belong to someone else. That is wrong. I didn't realize it felt like that, came the quiet reply. Didn't realize, I echoed, letting the words hang. It happens a lot lately, doesn't it? People acting without thinking about the consequences. People assuming everything they see is theirs to claim. I just thought we were helping, the voice whispered. Helping? I asked, turning slowly to face the figure. By moving my furniture, by rearranging my kitchen, by telling me I might need to leave my own home. It wasn't meant to hurt you, came the quiet reply. Intentions aren't enough, I said firmly. Not when the results strip me of what I've built. Not when the actions erase my place in the home I've protected for decades. I didn't understand, the voice admitted, voice faltering. Exactly, I said. And now it's time to see things clearly. To understand what it means to cross boundaries that are not yours to cross. I feel like I'm losing you, the voice said softly. You are? I said calmly. But not in the way you think. You're losing the connection because you've forgotten the foundation that built it. You've forgotten respect. And you've forgotten that a home is more than walls and furniture. It's history, it's memories, it's love, given silently for years. I didn't mean it, the voice whispered. No, I said, stepping closer. You didn't, but it's happening. Every day. And the only way to protect what matters is to act decisively, quietly, carefully. I don't know how, the voice said, almost pleading. Then listen, I said firmly. Do nothing that could worsen it. Observe, learn, and remember everything here, every corner, every memory, every document is mine to control. Not yours. Not yet. I understand, came the quiet reply. Yes, I said, voice steady. Understanding is the first step. The second is respect. And the third is patience. All three are necessary if you want to remain part of this home at all. I will try, the voice said softly. Try is a start, I said, nodding. It will not be enough forever. But for now, it is all I can ask. A silence fell thick with unspoken tension. Mom, I don't want you to feel left out, the voice said, tentative. You think I feel left out? I asked softly. I feel invisible. Every day I walk through these rooms, and every change that has been made without my consent makes me feel smaller, like a ghost of the person who built this home. And yet, I am still here. I am still watching. I am still in control. I didn't see it that way, came the whispered reply. Of course you didn't, I said, voice low. Because you didn't understand the weight of responsibility, the weight of sacrifice. You didn't see the nights I stayed awake alone, paying bills, repairing what broke, protecting this home while you were safe. And now, you walk in thinking you know what's best. I really thought I was helping, the voice admitted. Yes, I said softly. Helping. But helping without understanding is destructive. And every action you take without comprehension brings destruction closer. You must observe. You must learn. And you must remember your place until the time comes for full understanding. I won't forget, the voice whispered. Good, I said, feeling the faintest shift in the air. Fragile, tentative, but it existed. Enough to know that the next steps could be taken with precision, quietly, and without interference. I feel like I've changed, the voice admitted. You have? I said calmly. But not in a way that matters. Not yet. You've changed in thought, but not in understanding. And understanding is what will decide if you remain part of this home, or if you are merely a guest in a place that is mine. I want to understand, the voice said softly. Yes, I replied. Then listen, watch, learn, and never cross boundaries again until you know their weight. This home, my life, every memory, every decision is mine, and it will remain mine until the right time comes. Then, and only then, will the truth be revealed. A long silence settled, filled only with the faint hum of the refrigerator and the quiet rustle of curtains in the breeze. I think I understand, Mom, the voice whispered. Yes, I said softly, moving through the kitchen and touching the counters, the walls, the chairs I had chosen and maintained for decades. Understanding is only the first step. Respect and patience follow, and everything else will come when it is meant to. Until then, observe. Do not interfere. Do not forget who holds the authority here. I won't, the voice murmured. Good, I said, a faint sense of control settling over me. Because this house, these walls, these memories, they are mine, and no one will take them without knowing the full truth. I understand, the voice said softly. Yes, I said, walking toward my desk, quietly reviewing plans, papers, and every document, every detail, ensuring that the next steps could be executed precisely and without disruption. And as I moved through my home, whispering to myself, I said, "This is my home, my life, my rules, and the time for their reckoning is coming closer than they realize." "Mom, can we talk?" the voice asked, hesitant, standing just inside the doorway. "Yes," I said, slowly turning to face them. "We need to talk about everything. I don't know where to start." The voice admitted, eyes downcast. "I feel tense, like we've been avoiding something important." "Important?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "You mean the fact that my home, my life, and my memories have been disregarded?" I didn't mean for it to feel that way," the voice whispered. "You didn't mean," I repeated, voice tight. "But it did. Every day, every action, every decision made without consulting me. Do you know how it feels to watch the place you built being slowly taken from you?" I thought we were helping," the voice said softly. "Helping?" I asked sharply. "You call erasing me, moving my belongings, replacing furniture, and planning my exit helping?" I didn't realize how much it mattered," the voice admitted, voice trembling. "Not realizing," I said, letting the words echo. "Not realizing is exactly the problem. You act without understanding, and the results are destructive. Do you know that I know now," came the quiet reply. "Yes," I said firmly, "and now we must address it, calmly, but firmly, because this cannot continue." I just wanted to make things easier," the voice whispered. "For you," I said softly. "Not for me. Not for the one who raised you, who protected this home, who sacrificed everything to make it safe, warm, and full of memories. That's what makes it unbearable. Easier for you, impossible for me." I understand," the voice said, barely above a whisper. "Do you really?" I asked, taking a slow step closer. "Or are you only saying it because you fear what you've done?" "No, I really do," the voice protested. "Good," I said, softening slightly, "because understanding is only the first step. Respect is the second, and patience is the third. All three are required if you intend to remain part of this home and part of my life." I'll try," the voice said hesitantly. "Try is the beginning," I replied. "Not enough on its own, but a beginning, and for now, it is all I can ask." A silence filled the room, heavy and tense. "Mom, I feel like I've been blind," the voice said softly, "like I didn't realize how much this home meant to you, how much you've done for me. And now, I feel like I've crossed a line." "You have," I said calmly, "but recognizing it is the first step to fixing it. And fixing it means acknowledging what you've done, the consequences, and the boundaries that exist. Boundaries that you have repeatedly ignored." I didn't see it," the voice admitted. "Not seeing it is no excuse," I said firmly. "The weight of this home, the memories, the life built within these walls, it's heavy, it's fragile, and yet you treated it casually. That is why I must act carefully and deliberately to protect what is mine." I understand," the voice said again, softer this time. "Yes," I said. "Understanding is the start. Action comes later. But first, you must observe, respect, and learn the weight of everything you touch in this home." I won't forget," the voice whispered. "Good," I said, feeling a faint sense of acknowledgement. "Because this home, every wall, every photograph, every corner belongs to me. And it will remain that way until the right time comes. I'll try to see it that way," the voice said, almost trembling. Yes, I said. Try, observe, listen, and remember the lessons you've been blind to until now. Only then can the house, this home, truly remain a place for all of us. I didn't mean to hurt you, the voice said softly, voice breaking. I know, I said. But intentions alone do not protect what's precious. Actions matter more than words, and your actions have consequences. You must remember that. I understand now, came the hesitant reply. Yes, I said, taking a slow step toward them. And now you will act with care. You will think before touching, before moving, before deciding. Because this home is mine, and it will stay mine, every memory, every corner, every document, every piece of it, until I choose otherwise. I will try, the voice whispered. That's all I ask, I said softly. Try and learn, and never forget the weight of what has been built here. My life, my sacrifices, my love. It is all in this home, and no one will take it from me without knowing the full truth. I won't forget, the voice murmured again, almost reverently. Good, I said, nodding slowly. Because this is more than walls and furniture. This is life, and it will be preserved. Carefully, quietly, until the time comes to reveal everything fully, and then they will understand who truly owns this home. A long pause settled, broken only by the faint ticking of the clock and the quiet hum of the refrigerator. I understand, Mom, the voice said finally, soft but steady. Yes, I said, moving through the room, letting my fingers brush along the counters, the chairs, the walls I had lived with for decades. Understanding is only the beginning. Respect and patience follow, and everything else will unfold at the right time. A faint sigh came from the doorway. I see now. I really do. Yes, I said softly, and do not forget it, because every step from this moment forward must be taken with care. Every action, every word, every thought. They must all acknowledge the foundation that was built here long before you ever entered this home. I understand, the voice said one last time, quieter now, almost as if afraid to break the fragile acknowledgement that hung in the air. Yes, I said, voice steady and calm. And now? Observe, learn, and remember. Everything else will follow when it is meant to. But this home is mine, and it will stay that way until the truth is revealed. Mom, can we talk for a moment? Came the quiet voice from the doorway, hesitant, almost trembling. Yes, I replied, eyes narrowing slightly. We need to talk. About what's been happening and what is still happening in this house. I found something, the voice admitted, voice low. About the house. About the documents. Oh, I asked, slowly taking a step closer. And what exactly did you find? I don't know how to say it, the voice whispered. It's just the papers. I saw your name, Andrea Myers. Yes, I said calmly. And I didn't realize. I thought it was ours too now. That somehow it belonged to both of us. You thought it belonged to both of you? I repeated, voice rising slightly. Do you know what it feels like to think your own child believes your life, your work, your home belongs to someone else? I didn't know, the voice said quickly. I really didn't. I know, I said softly, stepping closer. But intention doesn't erase the consequences. You've acted as though you had ownership, rearranging, moving, planning, deciding. And now, you've discovered the truth. Do you understand what that means? I think so, came the hesitant reply. It means I've been wrong. Yes, I said firmly, but more than wrong. You've overstepped. You've ignored boundaries. You've assumed control over something that was never yours to claim. I just wanted to help, the voice whispered, almost breaking. Help, I repeated sharply. You call replacing my furniture, moving my things into drawers, planning my removal, helping. I didn't think it mattered so much, the voice admitted softly. Didn't think, I echoed. That seems to be the only phrase I hear these days. You didn't think about how it would feel. You didn't think about my memories, my effort, my sacrifices. You didn't think about me at all. I see that now, the voice said quietly. Yes, I said. Now you see it, and seeing is only the first step. You must act accordingly. You must observe respect and remember your place until the time comes for understanding to be complete. I understand, the voice whispered. Do you? I pressed. Or are you just saying it to calm me down? No, the voice exclaimed. I really do. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't realize. I never knew. I know, I said softly, and yet it happened. Every day, every action, and now, the truth is clear. I am the one who owns this home. Every document, every memory, every brick, every wall. It belongs to me, and it always has. I didn't see it that way, the voice admitted, shaking slightly. You didn't see it? I said, voice firm. And that is why careful action is required. Because now that you know, you must tread lightly. You must acknowledge what you've ignored for far too long. I will, the voice whispered. Yes, I said, walking slowly toward the living room, letting my fingers brush over the furniture, the walls, the spaces I had lived with for decades. You will tread carefully. You will observe. You will remember. And when the time comes, everything will be restored to its rightful place. Every respect, every acknowledgement, every memory. You will see what has always been mine. I didn't know it was so serious, the voice said softly. Serious? I asked. It's more than serious. This is my life, my home, my history, and it will not be diminished by ignorance, carelessness, or assumed ownership. I didn't intend to, the voice said softly. No, I said calmly. Intention doesn't matter. Action matters. And your actions have consequences. I understand now, the voice whispered. Yes, I said, standing tall, letting the silence settle. And now that you understand, you must act with respect. You must not interfere. Not until the time is right. Not until you are prepared to acknowledge what has been built, protected, and lived for all these years. I won't interfere, the voice said softly. Good, I said, nodding. Because this home, this life, every corner, every memory, every decision belongs to me, and nothing will change that. Not your assumptions, not your plans, not your intentions. Only when I allow it. I understand, Mom, the voice whispered again, voice barely audible. Yes, I said softly, moving toward the kitchen, touching the counters, the walls, the chairs I had chosen and maintained for decades. Understanding is the first step. Respect and patience follow. Everything else will unfold at the right time. But for now, observe, watch, learn, and remember who holds the authority in this home. Not you, not yet. I see it now, the voice whispered. Yes, I said, voice steady. And remember it. Every day, every moment, every decision you make from this point forward must honor the life that created this home, the sacrifices that preserved it, and the love that filled it. You will not forget it, and you will not act against it. I won't forget, the voice whispered almost reverently. Good, I said softly, nodding. Because this is more than walls and furniture. This is life. My home. And it will remain that way until the truth is revealed. And when it is, you will understand fully who truly owns this place. A faint, trembling breath came from the doorway. I understand, Mom. I really do. Yes, I said softly, letting the acknowledgement settle. And now, everything else will follow when the time is right. But this home is mine, and it will stay that way until the full truth is finally revealed. Mom, can we finally talk? The quiet voice asked from the doorway, hesitant but determined. Yes, I said, turning slowly. We need to. And this time, no dodging, no excuses. I want to explain, the voice whispered. Explain what I asked sharply. How you've treated my home like it isn't mine. How you've moved my things, replaced my furniture, and acted like I'm just temporary here. I didn't mean to. No, I interrupted, voice rising slightly. Don't start with, I didn't mean to. I don't care about intentions anymore. I care about what's been done. Do you understand? I understand, Mom, the voice said softly. Do you? I pressed. Or are you just saying it because it's easier than facing the truth? I really do, the voice admitted, trembling. I didn't realize how much this meant to you, to us, to everything you've built. Exactly, I said, and now you know. So tell me, do you understand why it's not just furniture or curtains or tables? This is my life. Every action you've taken has affected it. I see that now, the voice whispered. Yes, I said. Good. Then tell me, why did you act as if it was yours? As if my presence, my input didn't matter? I thought we were helping. We didn't realize. Helping, I asked, eyebrows raised. Helping is listening, including me respecting what I've built. Not rearranging everything behind my back. Not telling me I should leave my own home. I thought it was for the future. For structure, the voice admitted. Structure, I repeated slowly, letting it linger. You've used that word like it excuses erasing me. Structure doesn't replace respect. Structure doesn't make it okay to treat me like a guest instead of the person who created this home. I didn't see it that way, the voice whispered. No, you didn't, I said softly but firmly. And now you must see. You must acknowledge that your actions have consequences, that my feelings matter, that my home matters. I do, the voice admitted, voice breaking slightly. Yes, I said, stepping closer. And now perhaps you can understand why I've acted quietly, deliberately, to ensure that what is mine remains protected. Do you see that I think so, the voice whispered. Yes, I said. But thinking is not enough. You must feel it. You must respect it. And you must act with care from now on. No more assumptions. No more taking liberties. Do you understand? I will, came the quiet reply. Good, I said. Because this is more than furniture, more than curtains. Every wall, every floorboard, every memory is tied to my life. And you have ignored it far too long. Do you understand what that means? I see it now, the voice said softly. Yes, I said, nodding. And now that you see it, is time to act appropriately. That means listening, observing, and respecting. Every action from now on will determine whether you remain a part of this home or merely a visitor. I understand, the voice whispered again. Good, I said. Now tell me, do you really realize what it feels like to have your own child act like you're invisible in your own home? I can imagine now, the voice said softly. I didn't realize before. I see it clearly now. Yes, I said, and that clarity is what will guide us from here. Do you understand what's at stake? I do, the voice whispered. Good, I said. Because what is at stake is more than furniture, more than arrangements. It's respect, acknowledgement, understanding, and the life that was built here long before either of you arrived. I didn't mean to. I was wrong, the voice admitted, trembling. Yes, I said softly. Acknowledging that is the first step. But now your actions must align with that understanding. You cannot continue to act as if this home and my life are yours to manage. I won't, the voice whispered. Good, I said, feeling a faint sense of control returning. Because this home, this life, every memory belongs to me, and it will remain that way until the time is right to share it. But until then, observe, respect, and never forget who holds the authority here. I see it, Mom, the voice said softly. Yes, I said, nodding slowly. And remember, the next step will not be taken lightly. Every word, every action, every thought from this moment forward will be measured. This house, this home is mine, and it will stay that way until the truth is revealed. A long silence filled the room. I understand, Mom, the voice said again, trembling but steady. Yes, I said softly, walking toward the living room, letting my fingers brush over the walls, the chairs, the counters I had lived with for decades. Understanding is only the first step. Respect and patience follow. Everything else will unfold when it is meant. But for now, observe, learn, and remember who truly owns this home. Not you. Not yet. I won't forget, the voice whispered. Good, I said softly. And when the time comes, the truth will be revealed. And then, you will understand fully who built this home, who protected it, and who will decide its fate. A faint, trembling breath came from the doorway. I understand now, Mom. I really do. Yes, I said, voice calm and steady. And now, everything else will follow when the time is right. But this home is mine, and it will stay that way until the full truth is finally revealed. Mom, can we talk? The hesitant voice called from the doorway. Yes, I said, folding my hands, keeping my voice steady. We can talk, but this time, everything must be honest. I feel like we've been walking on eggshells, the voice admitted softly. Yes, I replied. That's because you've been treating my home, my life, my memories as though they didn't belong to me, and that creates tension. I know, came the quiet response, and I'm sorry. I didn't realize how much it hurt you. I know you didn't, I said firmly, but didn't realize doesn't undo the feeling of being replaced. Don't you see? That's what this has been, small steps of replacement. I see it now, the voice whispered. Yes, I said, and understanding it is just the beginning. Now comes the hard part, acknowledging it and learning how to fix it. I want to fix it, the voice admitted, voice trembling. But I don't know how. Start by listening, I said calmly. Really listening, not just hearing. Understanding what it means to be the person who built this home, who protected it, who sacrificed so much for you. I didn't see it before, the voice whispered. I thought I was helping. Helping, I repeated. By moving my furniture, rearranging my kitchen, telling me to leave. That's what you call helping. No, the voice exclaimed. I just thought it would make things easier. Easier, I said, voice low. For you, not for me, not for the one who poured decades of life into this house. Do you understand that I understand now, the voice admitted softly. Yes, I said. Good. Then we can start fixing this. But you must be willing to acknowledge everything you've done, everything you've overlooked, and every boundary you've crossed. I will, the voice whispered. Good, I said, because the house, the life within it, every corner, every memory belongs to me, not to you, not yet, and that will not change until you fully comprehend it. I want to understand, the voice said. Yes, I replied, and the first step is honesty. Tell me, how do you feel about everything that's happened? I feel guilty, the voice admitted. I didn't mean to hurt you, Mom. I wanted a home with us. Us, I asked softly. And what about me? Have you considered my feelings in this? The years I sacrificed? The nights I stayed awake alone, making sure you were safe? The work I did to create this home, I didn't think, the voice whispered. Exactly, I said. You didn't think. And now you must act differently. Every step you take from this point forward must respect what I've built. I will, the voice said again. Yes, I said firmly. And you will acknowledge my authority in this home, my life, and every memory it contains? You will not assume control. You will not make decisions without considering me. I understand, the voice whispered softly. Good, I said, because understanding is only the start. Respect and patience come next. And only when all three are present can we begin to repair what's been broken. I want to, the voice said. I really do. I don't know where to begin. Begin by listening, I said calmly. By observing. By recognizing the weight of what has been done here and the effort it took to build it. By acknowledging the memories, the sacrifices, the love, and by promising to honor it from this moment on. I promise, the voice whispered. Yes, I said. That is a start. A fragile start, but a start nonetheless. And it is all I ask for right now. A silence settled over the room. The air was heavy with tension, but there was also a faint glimmer of understanding. Mom, I want to make it right, the voice said softly. Then do it, I said firmly. Not with words alone, but with actions. Every decision, every step, every choice must show respect for what I have built. This is my home, my life, my memories, and it will remain so. I understand, the voice whispered again. Yes, I said, nodding slowly. Understanding is the first step. Now you must observe, learn, and remember. Every action matters, every word matters, and every choice you make from this moment forward must honor the foundation I created. I will, the voice whispered. Good, I said softly, because this home, this life, every memory, every decision belongs to me, and it will remain that way until the time comes to fully share the truth. Only then will everything fall into its proper place. A faint breath came from the doorway. I understand, Mom. I really do. Yes, I said, voice calm and steady. And now, observe, learn, respect, and never forget whose life, whose home, and whose memories you are dealing with. Not yet, not until the truth is revealed. I won't forget, the voice whispered. Good, I said softly, letting the acknowledgement settle. Because this is more than walls and furniture. This is life, my home, and it will remain that way until the time is right. And when it comes, you will finally understand fully who truly owns this place. Mom? Can we sit down for a moment? The hesitant voice asked, stepping into the living room. Yes, I said softly, gesturing to the couch. We need to finally talk, honestly, fully, without evasion. I want to, the voice whispered. I don't want things to stay tense between us. Good, I said, sitting slowly. Because the tension has grown from actions, from decisions, from ignoring boundaries. And now, it's time to start fixing it. I understand, Mom, the voice said softly. Yes, I replied, and acknowledging the past is part of that. The furniture you moved, the photos you rearranged, the changes you thought were harmless. They affected me. Deeply. Do you see that now? I do, the voice whispered. I didn't realize how much it hurt. I see it now and I'm sorry. Good, I said. Acknowledgement and apology are important, but they're only words if not followed by action. And that action begins with respect. I will respect your home, the voice admitted. Yes, I said, nodding. But more than that, respect the life lived here, the sacrifices, the memories. Can you do that? I can, came the quiet reply. Then tell me, I said softly. Tell me what you see now in this house and the life I built for you. Be honest. I see all the work you did, the voice whispered. All the nights you stayed awake, all the bills you handled, every repair, every effort to make this home safe and warm for me. I see it now, and I see how little I appreciated it before. Yes, I said softly. Finally, that is the beginning. Understanding is not enough, you must carry it with you. And you must act on it. I will, the voice whispered. I'll be careful. I'll honor it. Good, I said, because honoring it is the only way to start repairing the trust that's been broken. And now, let's talk about how we move forward. I want to, the voice said softly. I want things to feel right again between us. Yes, I said. We need a plan, but it begins with acknowledgement. And that acknowledgement must be reflected in behavior. Every action, every decision, every word must show that you understand whose home this is, whose memories these are, whose life this is. I understand, the voice whispered again. Yes, I said, and now we can start discussing small steps. Things we can do together to rebuild, to make this home feel whole again. I'd like that, the voice said softly. Good, I said, smiling faintly. It starts with simple things. No more moving my things, no more rearranging without consulting me, no more assuming ownership. Can you promise that I promise, the voice whispered. Good, I said. And now, we will slowly restore the feeling of belonging, the warmth, the connection that has been strained. But it will take time. Do you understand that I do, the voice said softly. Yes, I said. Time and effort. Actions speak louder than words. And from this moment I will watch and guide, and you will act accordingly. Do you understand? I understand, the voice whispered again. Good, I said, feeling a faint sense of relief. Because this home, these memories, these walls, they belong to me. And now we will work together to ensure they remain protected, respected, and cherished. Do you see that? I do, the voice said softly. Yes, I said. And this is how we rebuild. Slowly, carefully, with patience, respect, and understanding. Only then can trust return. And love. I want that, Mom, the voice whispered. Yes, I said. Then it begins now. By remembering, observing, and acting with care. Everything else will follow. The home, the memories, the connection, everything can heal if we commit to it. I will, the voice. Whispered voice, barely above a breath. Good, I said softly. And now, let's start taking small steps together. One at a time. Every decision, every choice, every word will reflect that understanding, that respect, that care. Do you see it? I do, the voice, trembling but steady. Yes, I said, and from now on, this home, these memories, this life will be honored, and slowly, carefully, our bond will be restored. Do you understand? I understand, Mom, the voice whispered. Yes, I said. And now we move forward, together, but carefully. Every step counts, every word counts, and everything here belongs to me until the truth is fully recognized. I won't forget, the voice whispered. Good, I said, letting the acknowledgement sink into the room. And now, we begin. Slowly, carefully, respectfully, and with love. Mom, can we sit for a moment? The quiet voice asked, stepping into the kitchen cautiously. Yes, I said softly, motioning to the chairs at the table. We need to talk. About everything. About what we've learned. I want to understand, the voice whispered. I feel like I see things differently now. Good, I said, folding my hands. That's the first step. Understanding. But now we must talk about what this means, about how we move forward without repeating the same mistakes. I feel guilty, the voice admitted. I didn't realize how much my actions hurt you. I treated the house like it wasn't yours, like I had a right to make decisions on my own. Yes, I said softly, and that hurt goes beyond the house. It's about respect, acknowledgement, trust. Do you see that now? I do, the voice whispered. Good, I said. Now tell me. When you see all this clearly, how does it make you feel? I feel ashamed, came the hesitant reply. Shame for not noticing, for not asking for being blind to what mattered most. To you, to everything you've built. Yes, I said. Shame is an honest emotion. It can guide change, but it cannot erase what's done. Actions must follow realization. Do you understand that I do, the voice whispered. Good, I said. Then tell me. Do you see what it means to protect a home, a life, and a legacy? I think so, the voice admitted. It's not just furniture or walls. It's everything you've lived for, everything you've sacrificed, everything you've cared for. And I didn't honor that before. Yes, I said. Exactly. That is the lesson. That is the understanding you must carry. And now, we must speak about respect. True respect. How it looks, how it feels, and how it guides every action. I understand, the voice whispered. Do you? I asked. Or are you saying it because you think it's expected? No, I really do, came the soft reply. I see now. I see how my carelessness has affected everything, and I want to make it right. Yes, I said, and making it right begins with listening, observing, not acting without thought, considering what matters most before moving forward. Every choice must reflect understanding, respect, and care. Can you do that? I can, the voice whispered. Good, I said. And now, let's talk about love. Not just the love between us, but the love that fills this house. The love that built it. Do you understand what I mean? I think so, the voice said softly. It's the memories, the sacrifices, the care. Everything you've given, everything you've done. That's the love that made this home what it is. Yes, I said, and that love is not to be taken lightly. It is not to be overridden by assumptions, by impatience, or by careless actions. Do you see that now? I do, the voice whispered. Good, I said. And now, the next step. Trust. You must learn to trust me as the guardian of this home, to respect the boundaries that I've set, to act with caution and thoughtfulness. Can you do that? I will try, the voice said softly. Try, I asked. Try is a start, but it must become habit. Every action, every decision, every thought must reflect understanding and respect. Otherwise, the mistakes will happen again. I understand, the voice whispered. Yes, I said. And now, acknowledgement. You must acknowledge the history of this home, the effort I've put into it, and the memories tied to every wall, every corner, every object. Acknowledgement is not enough on its own, but it is a start. I acknowledge it, the voice said softly. Good, I said. Now let's speak about responsibility. Do you see the responsibility you bear in this house? I do, the voice whispered. I see now. Every action I take affects more than just the present. It affects the past, the memories, the people who built this home. Yes, I said. Exactly. And now, accountability. You must hold yourself accountable for every step you take, for every word spoken, every object moved, every decision considered. Do you understand that I do, the voice said. Good, I said, letting a faint smile show. And now, forgiveness. I know this has been difficult for both of us, but we must forgive past mistakes to move forward. Are you ready to do that? I am, the voice whispered. I want to make amends. Yes, I said softly, and I am ready as well. But forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean ignoring lessons learned. It means moving forward with understanding, respect, and care. I understand, Mom, the voice whispered. Good, I said. Now together we will rebuild trust, restore respect, and honor the life that has been created here. Step by step, action by action, and slowly, this home will feel whole again. Do you see that I do? The voice said softly. Yes, I said, and this is the beginning, the start of true understanding, true respect, and true love. Everything else will follow in its proper time. But for now, observe, learn, respect, and never forget whose life and whose home this truly is. I won't forget, the voice whispered. Good, I said softly, letting the acknowledgement settle into the room. Because this house, these walls, these memories, they are mine, and it will remain that way until the full truth is understood and respected. And when that time comes, everything will fall into its proper place. A faint, trembling breath came from the doorway. I understand, Mom. I really do. Yes, I said, voice calm and steady. And now, observe, learn, and act with care. Respect this home, respect the life within it, and from this moment on, everything will begin to heal. Slowly, carefully, respectfully, and with love. Mom, can we finally sit together without tension? The hesitant voice asked softly from the doorway. Yes, I said, motioning to the couch. We can sit, and we will. But this time, everything we say must come from honesty. I want that, the voice whispered. I want to make things right, to feel connected again. Good, I said slowly, because connection is what we've been missing. Respect and understanding must come first, and love will follow. Do you see that I do, the voice said softly. Yes, I said. And now we will take steps together, carefully, slowly, one at a time. No more assumptions, no more actions without thought. Can you do that? I will, the voice whispered. Good, I said, nodding, because every action from this moment forward will shape how we move forward as a family. Every word, every decision, every choice must honor the life, the memories, and the home that was built before either of you arrived. I understand, Mom, the voice said softly. Yes, I said, and now we start with acknowledgement. You must acknowledge what has happened, the hurt, the misunderstanding and the boundaries that were crossed. Can you do that? I can, the voice whispered. I acknowledge it. I see how my actions have affected you. I'm sorry? Yes, I said. Acknowledgement is the first step, but now comes action. How will you show me that you understand? How will you act in a way that reflects respect and care? I will be careful, the voice said. I'll ask before touching things, before moving anything. I'll consult you before making decisions. I'll listen. Yes, I said, letting a faint smile show. Listening is important. Observing. Understanding the weight of what has been built and lived for. That is the beginning of true respect. Do you see that I do, the voice whispered. Good, I said. And now, we speak about love. Not just polite words, but love that is shown through action, through respect, through care. Can you show that kind of love? I want to, the voice said softly. I want to show it every day in everything I do. Yes, I said, because love is more than words. It is consistent actions, thoughtfulness, acknowledgement of sacrifice. And that is what will rebuild our bond. I understand, the voice whispered. Good, I said. And now, trust. You must trust me to guide this home, to protect the memories, and to preserve what has been built. Do you see that I do, the voice said. Yes, I said. And accountability follows trust. Every decision, every word, every step from now on will have meaning. You must take responsibility for your actions and ensure they reflect understanding and respect. I will, the voice whispered. Good, I said. Now let's speak about patience. This will not happen overnight. Healing, respect, trust. Love, they take time. Can you be patient? I can, the voice said softly. I want to be patient. I want to do it right. Yes, I said. And now, forgiveness. I forgive the past, but we must act in the present to ensure the future is different. Are you ready to do that? I am, the voice whispered. I want to move forward, to rebuild what was broken. Yes, I said softly. And now, slowly, carefully, we will rebuild. Step by step, word by word, action by action. The home, the memories, the bond between us, everything will be healed. Do you understand? I do, the voice whispered. Yes, I said. And now, observe, act, respect, and love. Everything else will follow in time. This home, these memories, this life, they are mine. And together, we will ensure they remain cherished and protected. I will, the voice whispered. Good, I said. And remember, everything from now on must reflect care, understanding, and acknowledgement. Only then will the full harmony of our family return. I understand, Mom, the voice whispered softly. Yes, I said, nodding. And now we move forward. Together, slowly, carefully, respectfully, and with love. I will, the voice said softly, voice barely audible, but firm. Yes, I said softly, smiling. And now, our future begins. What I've learned through this journey is that respect and understanding are not optional, they are essential. A home is not just a building, it is a living archive of effort, sacrifice, and love. Every person who enters it must honor that history, and every action should reflect awareness of the life that built it. Misunderstandings can grow into conflict if boundaries are ignored, and even the closest family members can unintentionally cause harm if they forget to acknowledge the work, patience, and heart of those who came before. It is equally important to remember that communication is a bridge. Even the smallest misstep, an assumption, a rearranged object, a decision made without consent, can create distance. Healing requires honesty, vulnerability, and the willingness to listen. It requires patience and action, not just words. Through this experience, we discovered that forgiveness is powerful, but it only works when paired with real respect, care, and accountability. I want every viewer to take this lesson into their own lives. Protect your boundaries. Honor the efforts of those who sacrificed for you, and recognize that love and trust are built slowly but can be damaged in an instant. And when conflict arises, dialogue open, honest, and patient dialogue can repair even the deepest wounds. If this story resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt misunderstood or disrespected in a space you cared for? How did you handle it? Let me know where you're watching from and the time in your country. I read every comment, and your perspective matters. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow this journey of family love and understanding.